I've got to admit, the world of off-roading really seems to be changing right before my eyes. Don't get me wrong, I am all for it, but it's crazy seeing all the little subgroups of this widely popular hobby growing before us. Like most recently, we've had the all-wheel drive community, which I've been a part of, and also now the electric off-road community. And even though I really love my Toyota 4Runner, I think a Rivian is pretty cool. Especially when it comes to overlanding, those things can go anywhere, but not everyone has Rivian money. So this week we certainly have a new opportunity before us. I'm gonna bring you all along on my very first electric off-road experience, and it happens to be with Hyundai's new Ioniq5 XRT. Hello my dear friends and welcome. I hope that you've had an electrified week yourself, in terms of excitement that is. It has been an interesting week with this car. If you didn't know, welcome to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Just a few years ago, Hyundai brought their full electric Ioniq line to America, and the Ioniq 5 was the first one. For 2025, this has been slightly updated with this new XRT trim and also some advancements inside as well. And it's only been in the last few years that we've seen this XRT brand out of Hyundai. We've seen the Tucson XRT, the Santa Fe XRT, and now Hyundai, I have to say, is making a pretty capable XRT in the new Palisade. That thing has a similar rear axle to something like the VTM4 system in Hondas. I don't want to overwhelm you just yet, but yes, welcome to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. In particular, this is a 2025 Ioniq 5 XRT in digital teal. It's a pretty interesting color because sometimes it looks gray and then sometimes it looks teal. As far as the XRT goes for this Ioniq 5, there are some upgrades compared to the normal ones. First of all, these are an inch taller compared to the normal Ioniq 5 because this has different suspension on it, so it's a little bit softer and it gives you that little bit of extra ride height. Hyundai has also added these all-terrain tires by Continental in this case with 18-inch wheels. It still has the same dual motor all-wheel drive setup, but now we have terrain modes that have been added, like a snow, mud, and sand mode. So we'll see how those do. Along with all that, you can see Hyundai has changed the body work of this car as well, with different front and rear bumpers and this pixelated trim on the fenders and the bumpers. You can also see, because this thing will definitely need recovery, it has these two bright red hooks in the front that are easy to access, thankfully. Unfortunately, this car does not have any underbody protection. I do acknowledge that they market this as a rally car, but I would expect some things to happen underneath with a rally car too. This week we're taking this camping, so I need that underbody protection. So everything that you see here gives this Ioniq 5 a factory MSRP of just about $57,000. I do think that prices for the 26 model have changed because on the configurator an XRT is $46,000. I am pretty pleased to be with an Ioniq 5 XRT this week because this not only looks cool, but this also completes the Ioniq 5 trilogy on the channel. We've seen the regular models when these first came out with the calligraphy trim. A year later, we spent time with the sportiest Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 5N, and now we have the off-road ready version as well. Thankfully, Hyundai still produces all models for the 26 model as well. But as you can see, if you don't want all this, you can still get a normal Ioniq 5 SE, starting at the SE standard range for $36,000. Then the normal SE, SEL, Limited, and then the XRT like this one. Then Hyundai classifies the N model as its own model, and that's about $66,000. Thankfully, when it comes to propulsion, Hyundai offers two variations. You can choose the single motor rear-wheel drive or the dual motor all-wheel drive like this one, and of course, because this is the XRT, it comes standard with all-wheel drive. But again, it's an electric car. There's nothing under the hood. So again, because it's an electric car, don't expect anything under the hood like a gas engine. This unfortunately also doesn't have a frunk like some other EVs. That really does come in handy. There is just this little bit of storage here, which, I mean, you can put something in, but it's just big enough to fit the adapters that the car comes with. The all-wheel drive Ioniq 5 uses an 84 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack. Again, that powers both the front and rear electric motors giving this all-wheel drive and a combined 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. Hyundai claims this to have about 256 miles of range, but the most I've seen is about 230. It really depends how and where you're driving. Even though in pictures and in video the Ioniq 5 may look small, this is not a small car. This thing measures at 183.3 inches long, making it 3 inches longer than the outgoing Toyota RAV4, but 7 inches shorter than Hyundai's current Santa Fe, which we actually saw a little while ago. Once again, because this one is the XRT, it's on slightly taller suspension, now giving this 7 inches of ground clearance, which is fine, but even where I went last weekend, it was still not enough. So if I had this car, I'd probably lift it. But then you lose range and all kinds of things, but that's just like a gas car, I guess. Why am I always under an airplane? Of course, Hyundai's added all-terrain tires to the XRT with these 18-inch alloy wheels. Something else I'm proud that Hyundai's done for 25 is add NACS to the Ioniq 5. Thankfully also the Ioniq 9 has this, but it really was a game changer when it came to charging. Thankfully they still provide both of the adapters so you don't have to use a Tesla charger, but this really has been the most convenient press car of mine to charge because I don't have a charger at home. On our way up before we went camping, we stopped at Walmart to charge this and get camping supplies. And we were only in there for about 20 minutes and it gave me about 100 miles of range. I was pretty satisfied with that. I know it's not like gas. I have my opinions on that, but I was very impressed with how quickly it charged. There are 3 different ways you can charge this. You can use level 1, which is the 110 volt power outlet in your house. That will take an eternity to charge this. I wouldn't even bother. Then you can use level 2 or 240 volts. That's the big dryer outlet in your house. That will charge this in 7 hours from empty to full. But if you use level 3 charging, either with the Tesla charging or the CCS, this can take up to 350 kilowatts. So this can go from 10 to 80% in about 20-30 minutes. So if you have the resources to charge this thing, like a charger at home or at work or something to do your errands with, it really is convenient because it's almost always full, except right now because I don't have level 2 or 3 in my immediate area. So of course, this is not a dedicated off-roader and it's not huge, so you're not going to be able to go camping for weeks. But it is capable enough, in terms of storage capacity at least, to hold you over for a weekend. You can see this has a power tailgate, and then that reveals 26 cubic feet of volume. It's a pretty usable amount of space, and because the tailgate and the trunk are shaped like this, I can actually use the trunk as shelter. Something that bothers me though is the type of material they used in the carpet, because if they want this to be an activity car or a camping car, I at least would wish that they put an all-weather mat in the back of this as standard like Honda does, because the carpet in this just absorbs any dirt and it's almost impossible to vacuum. You can fold the rear seat flat, then you get just under 60 cubic feet of volume. There is a little bit of a storage well underneath here, which is where you'll find the level 1 charger. Even though I wouldn't do it, Hyundai still says that you can tow with the Ioniq 5, and in the XRT trim you can tow 2,700 pounds. But if you have an SEL all-wheel drive, then 3,500 pounds. Now as we hop into the back seat of the XRT, one thing I have to say, because I'm surprised this one doesn't have the pano moonroof, it's kind of dark in here. It's not a big problem though. As you can see, I'm 5'9" and space is the more important factor. The driver's seat is in my position, how I sit, and I have so much space. I can fit my feet under the seat, maybe 8 inches of leg room, really a lot of space back here. These rear seats are able to slide forwards and backwards too, so you can give the trunk some more volume. I was gonna say the third row passengers, but there's no third row. There isn't a third zone for the climate control, but we do have air vents on the B pillars, thankfully, and also 2 USB-C ports behind the center console. We also thankfully have an armrest and these 2 smallish cup holders, so it is pretty comfortable. I also like that in this XRT, thankfully, we have heated rear seats for the outboard seats, and again, I just can't get over how spacious the back of this car is. The rear seat thankfully also reclines too, pretty far back, so you can really be comfortable in this car. And I've gotta say, Hyundai's been doing a pretty decent job with their interior quality, so it doesn't feel like it's cheap in here. Alright, so the cold is ungodly today, but welcome to the interior of the Ioniq5 XRT. It's very similar to the Ioniq5s that we've seen in the past, but Hyundai has slightly revised the interior. But because it is so dadgum cold, we can get this thing going. One thing that is nice about an electric car is that when it's cold like this, you don't have to sit and wait to warm it up. You can just start it and go. So this is the key fob for the Ioniq5. It's Hyundai's modern key fob. I know many people have their opinions on it, but I won't say anything just yet. But because of the smart key access and this key fob, we have push button start. So you can keep this anywhere inside the car and put your foot on the brake and press the start stop button to go. So once again, welcome to the interior and the driving experience of the Ioniq5. I don't really feel like I'm in a terribly different car compared to the normal Ioniq5. We just have some XRT branding on the seats and the door cards, but the interior still feels pretty similar. We still have this same phallic shape of shifter, which it's fine, but when I first was driving this car, the beginning of this week, every time I'd try to put it in gear, I'd turn on my rear wiper, something that you just have to get used to. I will say the on-road experience is far better than the off-road experience. This car, thankfully, is compliant on the road. What's the car? It's ice possible. It's, yeah, like 30 degrees today. As you would expect, this car is pretty easy to drive. I have been driving in the I-pedal function. So that's their one-pedal drive mode and their regen braking mode. So it works well. It's pretty smooth. I like it in all types of situations. Pretty much most electric cars I've been driving, I drive in this I-pedal or regen mode. This thing has a decent ride to it, but I noticed that the suspension is noticeably softer than the normal Ioniq, especially in the back. This thing feels like it floats quite a bit. On the highway, you notice that especially, but around town, it absorbs the bumps well, and I will say that it absorbs the bumps off-road well as well. Thank you. The steering has a decent weight to it, but like a lot of vehicles that I've been driving recently, a lot of the newer ones, I feel this resistance in the steering wheel. So it's like heavy. They tuned it to be heavy, but it just makes it feel like it doesn't want to steer as easy for me. But as you would expect, because it's an electric car, it handles well. It has, you know, minimal body roll, and it feels pretty composed because it has most of its weight under its belly. I've been pretty pleased with the layout of this interior. Like, we have this 3-spoke leather wrap steering wheel. It is heated in this case, and it does feel pretty good in my hand. Ooh, the light is green. This is perfect. But yeah, you know, it handles well, but even the front feels a little bit floaty. You know, it's a lot of power, but you don't hear anything. It's just a lot of power. It's good. You'll be satisfied with the acceleration that comes out of this car. On the highway, it's actually been pretty smooth. It's an easy car to drive, and Hyundai's lane keeping assist works pretty decent as well, so I've been satisfied with that. U-turns, this thing doesn't really have that tight of a turning circle. But you know, it's just so easy to drive it quickly. It's been a good companion to just do all my bullshit driving. But otherwise, long distance driving, this does not really feel like the car for me. I don't really enjoy it because I'm just thinking about how many miles of range I'll have to get to where I want to be and how often I'll have to charge. It's just a lot more processing than I want to do. But at the same time, it is pretty quiet in here, so it's like a sensory deprivation chamber, I would say, which is a good and bad thing. Then, you know, it puts its power down smooth. I don't really notice the separation between the front and rear motor. Only when it's wet, I feel like there's actual slip, and sometimes the chassis doesn't feel too happy with harder acceleration. I do like the convenience features that this car has. Like, one of my favorite things that this has is the vehicle to load function. That's on higher trims like this XRT and the Limited, but you can actually power real things with the outlet that's under the rear seat.
0.2 miles traffic light and speed camera ahead, 45 miles per hour speed limit.
But yeah, I don't know. The car loves to ding. As you can see, this thing supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The infotainment system has been non-offensive to me, but it really has been an easy car to drive. I've not really taken any real offense to it. It's pretty practical. I've appreciated the amount of space that I have in here. Like this center console here slides forwards and backwards, so I think it's pretty well-rounded. I just really wish that with the XRT that they actually make it more off-road capable than just tires, but that's what most people do anyway, so. So welcome back to Greenridge State Forest. It's been a little bit since we've been here, but it's been maybe a year since we've taken a Hyundai out here. Greenridge, of course, isn't gonna be too crazy because we're not gonna be rock crawling necessarily, and this is not a rock crawler, of course. But we're gonna see the capabilities of the all-wheel drive system in this dual motor Ioniq 5. So this is Piclic. On Onyx Off-Road, this is called Have a Piclic. This is usually the first place that I go with every car. It's not too crazy, but the rain that we've had last summer has caused quite a bit of erosion, so we'll see what we get up to. Okay, so I'm not getting in any drive modes, you know, immediately, but it is nice. This is honestly my first time with an EV off-road, and the control of the throttle is something that it's very foreign to me, honestly. I do have to say, excuse the sound of ice. We are staying hydrated today, but this thing is on different suspension. We're already getting some wheel spin, but it does feel softer on the road, so hopefully it'll pay off in terms of articulation today. I find it funny. Let's see. Oof. It's already rubbing the belly. This car is not going to be doing too much today, so I already know the verdict. This car is not a crawler. No ground clearance at all. Oh my goodness. That's already less than the Santa Fe, because I took the Santa Fe XRT. I know that's, you know, a gas and hybrid, but no car I've taken here has rubbed that this far down. This is the first obstacle on Piclic. Usually with vehicles that have a little bit more approach angle, I'd take this deeper line, but immediately the bumper will get snagged. And you know, this isn't anything crazy. If we're just going camping, this is something that you'll encounter. So instead of going this deep line, we're gonna go on this more conservative line, but I feel like it'll still probably rub. I don't have much to guide me, but at least I have a 360 camera. So that helps me kind of pick my line, but I'm gonna do it the old school way. Just look out. It is funny hearing no noise. I'm in the normal terrain mode. I'm not going into anything crazy yet. I mean, this might be too much for this car. So because I've already rubbed the belly, I'm just gonna go pretty slow. Oh my. Oh. All right. You know, it honestly surprised me. It's rubbing. Some articulation. This has not been confidence inspiring off-road at all so far. Oh my. Okay, so I guess because it's slipping, I'm going to try the different terrain modes. We have snow, mud, and sand. I'm going to try mud. Oh, you know, it actually does do something different. I'll do sand now. Let me go back. Sand, okay, sand seems like the one that's for this situation. Does it? Or was I full of it? Oh, okay, it's doing something. I'm honestly surprised by the amount of wheel spin that I've been getting already. I just want to make sure I don't fall in this rut because the car is not going to do this at all. It's funny hearing no noise. This is also, do not do this at home. Drive off-road and like stick your head and arm out the window. That's a no-no, but because I'm doing it, it's okay. You've been forewarned. This thing really is not a trail rig. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be, but you know, it seems like it's struggling today a little bit more than I thought.
You've got like 2 feet. You're good. You still, yeah, passenger. All right, driver, and then come straight.
That's ridiculous. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our time with the Hyundai Ioniq5 XRT. It definitely has been an interesting experience with this car. As always, these are nice to drive on the road, and I've been very impressed with how this thing charges, how quickly and how efficiently it charges. In terms of the capability, this is not camping approved by me, unfortunately. If you take this on any trail, you're gonna rip the bottom of this car out from under it. It's too low. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to see more electric cars off-road. I'd really like to see a Rivian one day. Let me know in the comments if you have an XRT. Doesn't matter if it's an Ioniq 5 or any XRT. And also just let me know what kind of car you drive. I like cars. And once again, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, peeps.